summit. While the Camp David venue has been associated in the Middle East with the historic efforts to broker peace between the Arabs and Israel in 1978, the current gathering with President Obama and the 6 GCC countries in the retreat is an attempt to manage, of course, the disagreements and effect security cooperation ahead of a potential nuclear deal with Iran. The question now is, can Obama and the GCC strike a balance at the Camp David summit that is being held there? This is a question that we are going to gather lots of answers and more with our prominent guest, Dr. Hussein Shoriba, the political analyst. Good evening. And later on, of course, Dr. Sherif Khoraibi is going to be joining us later in the program. Dr. Shoriba, good evening. First of all, my question to you is about the summit that is being held in Camp David, the retreat. Could it be taken as an extraordinary event that is being held while it gathers the U.S. President Barack Obama, and he is being gathered with the 6 GCC countries, Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE? The timing of the summit, it is no mere coincidence for whoever is observing it. And in terms of the GCC and the U.S. relationship, the timing has some significance. If you can elaborate on that.
Well, first of all, for the name, Camp David, it had lots of success before.
Lots of memories also.
Yes, but let's agree on one thing, that there is a great will in the Camp David of Egypt, Israel, and United States. So this is a big difference between both. Today, Camp David is for a very tiny problem. But this tiny problem is occurred not by the Yemeni people, because the Yemeni people are not a problem maker, but it's created by Iran. All the GCC countries, they are doubt that Iran has a kind of a good attention or well. But we need to secure this idea. Iran should be reasonable to cooperate with all the Arab countries and give us back the 2 islands which they took it from the Emirates. So we do have really bad intention from Iran. This is why this summit is right now in U.S. The success of that summit, it's not easy to do or to occur, because
You mean there are doubts about that summit might achieve success, full success between the 2 parts?
Might reach the success of this one cannot exceed 50%.
Right, but disagreements mainly is going to be between the 2 parts will remain on 2 main key issues, like the crisis in Syria and how the America's policies or the U.S. policies towards what's happening in Syria, and of course the relieving the sanctions on Iran and the consequences of relieving those sanctions. So how do you think the U.S. is going to handle that with the GCC countries, given the fact that the U.S. president will have a lot to effect on trying to convince the GCC countries that, releasing those sanctions and easing those sanctions on Iran wouldn't be that bad? So how do you think this is going to be handled?
Iran, during the Shah time, is different than Iran after the Shah. Because after the Shah, there was Khomeini and was his fanatic ideas. And those who came after him were also having the same idea and the same fanatic and the same vision. There is nothing being different. Even the nuclear weapons, and they are aiming to have this or to do this or to get this. If it's peaceful, why did they have the hassle for almost like 10 years with United Nations? They still have a hassle. Iran should, what you call, to make this summit success, should show one simple thing. I respect my borders and I respect others' borders. Because let's say from almost 7-8 months ago, part of the Navy, Iranian Navy, was very close to the borders of Bahrain. Why did they go over there? Why did they show this? This is an interrogation mark to Iran. So this is why United States is trying to convince the GCC guys, I'm supporting you, I'm with you. Although our President Sisi started this and he said the security and safety of Egypt borders, it starts from the Arab countries, it didn't start from our borders. So that's a big difference thing. And this is why the United States President Obama, he's conveying another message to the GCC, telling them, I am supporting and securing with you any problem can occur or happen, whether by Iran or anything like this. The problem we have in Syria is another issue. It is not Shiite and Muslim, and it's not anything of this. It's two powers, the outer powers, whether it is Russia and the United States, whether it is Iran and Europe and United States. So we should not mix with this. Even Saudi Arabia has another vision about Syria, and they want the recent president to go off. Right now, I don't want Syria to be like Iraq. I don't like Syria to be slaughtered and cut into pieces. Maybe the president is not qualified, and this is not my issue. The issue is for the Syrian people to decide which person they need to rule the country for them. That's an important issue. It's not
But in order for that to be effective, things have to work otherwise. I mean, they don't have to work.
Yeah, but we should not support fanatics and whatever their
belief.
the
president has to remain in office with the national army so that they protect the country, and then they could hold elections later on or whatever. But things shouldn't be working that way.
If I'm not wrong, I think Al-Assad himself, he wants to leave the country. He wants to go off. But he needs not to leave it to some gangs. That's
very obvious.
Yes. So this is because you have recognized what they are willing to do for Egypt. You know, it was because of the army of Egypt, because of our recent president, because of the 30 million people who went down to the streets and ignored whatever these guys will do for Egypt. And this is why the Syrians should go also and gather their power, and they should say all outsiders, whether it is from Hezbollah, whether it's from Iran, whether mercenaries from Europe or United States or Canada or Australia, you are out. You should be out, because the Syrian problem is the Syrian problem. It's not anybody else. And even us as an Egyptians or as an Arab, we should not interfere in this problem. This is the problem of the Syrian. But we support the Syrian people. We are not supporting the president. So if the president is trying in a way or another to damage some cities or anything, he's not willing to damage his cities. He's willing to damage these fanatics who are really harming their country. There is another way, because bombing anything, you can do bombing anywhere. But would be the solution for any future? No. The only solution is to sit on the table, agree on what is right for their country, and they go for it. So when we go back to the summit of the Camp David, their success is only about 50, maximum is 50%, and that will be that United States with its Navy, the 6th Navy or the 5th one, both of them, they will be alert to any action plan which has been done or going to be done by Iran. We need, as our president and Saudi Arabia and others thought about it, we need to make the Arab army. The Arab army is not for luxurious way or anything, or it's they are going to be relaxed. No, they will go and secure the areas which we recognize ourselves that there is a weakness in it. Whether these people are from Kuwait, from Bahrain, from Egypt, even from Syria, from Jordan, from Morocco, this army, it is under the command of the army leaders of the Arabs. And this will go so we have a problem in Bahrain, this army will be there.
But Saudi Arabia have taken an initiative in that direction.
Yes.
And have formed Arab joint forces and a coalition concerning the problem in Yemen in order to secure the borders and, of course,
to secure the Yemeni themselves.
And the Yemenis against the Houthi aggression and secure Bab el-Mandab, of course, Strait. But I don't think that scenario could be effected in Syria, according to Saudi Arabia. So there are complications that this scenario or what you're hinting or pointing at couldn't be effected on different places, I mean, according to some political interests. But let me move to another point, which is the draft statement of the summit that was leaked by Al Hayat newspaper earlier that focused on some points that they leaked in the newspaper. They said they focused in the summit on speeding up the delivery of military sales to the GCC countries, conducting military exercising, boosting the maritime security, and working towards a long security plan. But the leak actually fell short of defense treaty that the GCC have asked for earlier. So how serious do you think that could be affected on real ground, that statement?
This statement is a business statement. It's no more than this, by the way. United States is having a kind of a recession, and the recession was increased by almost 2-point-something%. And that is not easy for their economy. Plus, there's another thing. The euro was 1.37. Today, the euro is 1.18. I want you to recognize this is affecting on United States very sharp. So all their goods and their products are right now expensive. So any military things or factories or all these things, they are losing something like between 18 to 20% of this. So everybody is buying as military-wise, they go and get from Europe. It was cheaper for them. This is why Egypt managed to go for the French deal. This is why the British were unhappy because they didn't sell their tornadoes instead of the French. So it's kind of a business. Whatever the United States is gathering these people, and they are telling them, okay, we are securing, but it will end with business. That's 100%. United States is in need to use another way of communication with the Arabs. Instead of telling them, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, but you need to have kind of agreements about buying utilities and American weapons and all these things. and we're gonna add training and we do this. Well, they should tell them, okay, guys, we will help you in solving the problems. What are the problems? The Arab know it. One of them, and it's an easy one, the two islands.
How come they're going to be offering the help for solving the problems when they're part of it? So this is another problem also.
United States.
I mean, there is a conflict of political interests, and
look,
that would affect in them being part of the problem. So
United States is trying to solve their problem first, and part of their problem is could be a solution for yours. So one of their problems is the economy, number one, and number two, Iran and the problem. Although they have a kind of a deal between both of them, and they are having a kind of a dialogue. They want to have it like this. I wish United States, their vision should be changed, and they should tell the Arab countries the problems. It's like the Palestinian problem. All of us, we know what is the Palestinian problems. There was any action plan? Was anything done or taken? Zero. Israel have bombed Gaza, and they said we will rebuild Gaza once more again. They managed to gather a few nickels. Did they do anything? No. Did they change Gaza? No. Did they help the Palestinian people? No. So it comes to no. Everything comes to no. So we need another new vision, idea from the United States towards the problems in the Middle East. One of them, for the GCC, the two islands of UAE should be returned directly to, and we should have not a fight. We should go to the court case in the United Nations, and we discuss this problem. We take our evidence, we take our tools, and we will speak over there. If it is ours, we're going to have it back again as normal, and they can leave it in peace. And Iran should do and think positive if they want to work with the Arabs today and tomorrow and after tomorrow. But if they insist to be an arrogant person going like this, believe it or not, there would no peace or talk peace, or it would be a kind of a business getting pushing the Arabs into buying things which we should not need to it right now or today. We need to fight lots of things. One of them is illiteracy. Why? Because we do have fanatics coming, and they say these fanatics are coming from the Arab countries. Why do we have an idea like this? Because the resources of these countries are not supporting the people themselves and educating them and pushing them for a better life for that situation. But unfortunately, we are supporting others' economy, whether it's Europe, whether it's United States, whether it's Russia, whether it is the Far East. We need to support the Arab countries. The Arab countries should think very positive about security and safety of all the Arab countries are the problem of the Arab countries and not others.
Right. If you could allow me, Mr. Shoriba, we're going to go to a quick break, and we'll be coming and resuming with Windows on Current Affairs, so stay with us.